if you're going to be going for the clamp guard and isolating the arms, you start to threaten the sweep first and threaten the high underhook, okay? So I'm going to do that by starting to kick out a leg, doesn't matter which side, just distribute his weight in that direction. And that's what's going to make it easier to start to set up my high underhook, okay? I recommend always going for the sweep because for him to stop this, he needs to open his base in whatever way, and that's going to allow me the space to get my foot into that far hip. If you're having trouble there, you can scoot your hips back a little bit if you need to. We just recommend foot into the far hip, okay? Now as you see, I got his base broken down pretty well, and I can start isolating this near side arm. To do that, I'm gonna start to push with my top butterfly hook, push with my heel, start to extend out on the arm. I can slip this arm or let go and re-grab on the other side. Be elbow deep on this shoulder. Start to slide out until the wrist is in between your shoulder and your neck. And as you see now, I have the space to bring this top butterfly hook out and get into the clamp guard. Maintain the angle down towards the mat at all times. If this grip is shallow, Joel can start to take his shoulder free. If I'm facing towards the ceiling, even if this is tight, he can start to flatten me out, okay? So let's do this again. Other side, double butterfly guard. Start to kick the leg out. Lean this direction, kick the high underhook. You can get the foot there off the mat, off of the bat, then that's great, okay? So you can do that if you prefer just going straight into the clamp guard. Start to fall to my side. As you see, I'm looking down towards the mat at all times. Here, slide out until this wrist is in between the shoulder and the neck, looking down towards the mat at all times, okay? Try to flatten me out. Try to flatten me out. See? Always look down towards the mat, okay? So, start to set this up. Aim for repetitions at first. You can start to add resistance after a little bit if you'd like, okay? Sound good? 1, 2, 3. That's how we isolate the arms. I recommend your strategy if they're being low, start isolating the arms if you're having a hard time doing our strategy that we worked up to this point, okay? It's going to be easier if you're able to get the sweep or do your duck unders to get chest to back positioning. This is if you're having issues in resistance with those attacks, okay? So, there's other ways to isolate limbs here. We can also isolate the legs too, okay? I don't recommend, at least at first, when you're starting to do this, to start to force it with their legs being down, okay? When you're starting to give people trouble here, threatening sweeps, isolating arms, a good counter to that is starting to stand, okay? Because if Joel's completely stands out of here, breaks the grip, he's doing much better, okay? So that's something we gotta be aware of. So as soon as you feel a leg step up, I want you to flatten this leg here. Now we're gonna keep one leg in between his hips and my hips at all time, or you're gonna be pulling them out position, okay? So from here, I wanna scoot underneath of his hips and pull him on top of me, okay? But not completely on top of me, so if he stepped his left leg up, I wanna sit towards my right, okay? Now from here, I switch from a pulling grip to a pushing grip. This can look in any way. I'm gonna start to push Joel and start to lift with this hook. And I'm gonna start to bring this knee to my chest, okay? Now from here, I wanna get this heel in between me and Joel because his whole job is to make this leg heavy and crush the crap out of me. So if I got nothing there and he comes right back, he can start to give me trouble here. So I push him off again, keep trying to come frames at all times until I get a heel in between me and him, okay? Now from here, what I recommend is shelving the ankle, okay? Just like we shelf the wrist in clamp guard. What I'm gonna do that is I'm gonna take my top side arm, reach in my back pocket, go over his shoelaces, and hug this ankle nice and tight. I'm gonna start to, almost like I'm shot putting over my head and sitting forward until it falls into place here. And now I get both of my legs involved here and split his legs, okay? I wanna keep his hands to the mat at all times. And as you see here, I'm looking down towards the mat at all times. Very similar to the clamp guard, except for the clamp guard, you got control of the shoulders. X guard, we got control of the hips. Okay, try to flatten me out. Okay,
If they try to run away, I recommend grabbing that patella, grabbing that kneecap, and actually using it as a grip here, okay? So the things you gotta worry about, running away and them crushing you, okay? And also standing. So rotate, go ahead and try to stand. We stay rotated down towards the mat at all times. Make sure his hands are on the mat at all times. My hips are facing the ceiling. You sort of stand up, hands are on my legs. Now I'm in trouble, okay? Hands on the legs again. So to mitigate this, we split the legs and rotate down towards the mat at all times, okay? Your legs can look any way. We just keep the legs split and rotate it down. As soon as I'm here, he stands back up. Go ahead. All right, as soon as I rotate down towards the mat. So I always look down towards the mat at all times. So let's set this up one more time. Any version, here he's starting to stand, flatten the leg. Fall, angling away from the leg. Pushing grip, push him away, keep trying to come into me, let me out. Back pocket, keep coming. I'm looking down towards the mat at all times. I don't want his hands off of the mat ever during this, okay? Because as you see, the more I keep his hands on the mat, the more likely I am to start getting chest to hips, chest to back position, okay? Let's do it. 1, 2, 3. So, just the same concepts that we've had in all of our guards so far. We are keeping the base split as much as possible and force the hands to the mat. That does not change. If your opponent's hands are on the mat, they're not on you, you're more likely to win the exchange here, okay? So we're gonna start, we're gonna drill and set up the clamp guard position here. On the side mat on the arm, and then here, all right? My job for this round is to keep him broken down at all times, okay? I'm not doing anything else other than just focus on staying tight, rotating down towards the mat, okay? Joel's job is to flatten me out and disengage, okay? So, how this kind of looks, you can use your legs in any way that you want. You want to keep him rotating down towards the mat at all times. Go ahead, try to flatten me out. You can even start kicking out that forearm, keeping your heel into that elbow pit. Just make sure that when you're doing things like this, you don't start looking towards the ceiling. So exaggerate here, okay? Go ahead. This is really all I'm going to focus on, just looking down towards the mat this time.
Just stand up, Joel.
I'm not worried about the other leg. Exactly. Perfect. You can put this leg in front if you like to. All right? Just make sure that you're staying nice and tight here so that they don't have a chance to flatten you out, okay? If you're able to do about 30 seconds or so, just make a guesstimate. Like you hold him there, he's tried to resist like 4 or 5 times and hasn't been able to flatten you out, that's a win. Switch top to bottom. If the other person is able to disengage, that's a win as well. Switch top to bottom. Sound good? Good. 1, 2, 3. I'm here, going for my stuff. I feel Joel step up a leg. I'm immediately going underneath with that, using my arms till the heel gets here. Because this whole time he's trying to crush me, all right? I'm keeping him away. Now I shelf this leg, okay? From here, I want to stay rotated down towards the mat at all times and to split his legs. Exaggerate with that split, okay? So I like to do almost like a forward shift. Bring my knees to my chest, kick away, and come up to either my elbow or my hand, all right? Standard Jiu-Jitsu X guard is like this. Me personally, I like this because I can kick that leg even further, okay? You gotta anticipate going against guys like Noah that are really tall here. Noah's gonna be able to easily backstep out of this one. He's not so much with this one, okay? So my job, stay rotated down towards the mat, keep the legs shelved from here, and just keep his hands on the mat at all times. That's what I want you to focus on. Joel's going to try to stand up and disengage with me. Go ahead. You can stand, I'm still focusing, just keeping here. If he pushes that leg down, I can replace it with the other one, just going back and forth, all right? You can use both legs. Just stay rotated down towards the mat. As soon as you start to go up, he gets his base squared, hands are on my legs, I'm starting to have trouble. If that's the case, use both your legs to split and rotate back, okay? All right, go ahead, go again. All right, and keep this. Same exchange. If you win about 4 or 5 times, like he's trying to stand up, it's just not happening. You can count that as a win and switch top to bottom, okay? That's what I want you to focus on all the time. Keep it simple. Split the legs, hands on the mat. Sound good? 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna give you some options of what to do, okay? Like full resistance is what our goals are, all right? So we're here in clamp guard, okay? What I recommend is coming up on this bottom elbow, okay? When you went head height, it makes it even more dominant of a position, forcing their hands down to the mat, and also we can finally get this inverted arm bar. You can get it on people that have tight elbows from here, okay? But here it's much easier, okay? All right, so you can go gable grip, butterfly grip, whatever you feel is best. Just make sure that you're wrapping a little bit below the elbow here. And to get this finished, I'm gonna be taking my elbow down as I'm crunching forward towards Joel. So I'm trying to almost do a hamstring stretch towards my feet, okay? So that's fairly easy, right? So grip here, okay? That's option 1. Option 2 is we can force a chest to back positioning from here, okay? Now, the way I'm gonna do that is I'm gonna start to go hands down towards the mat. I'm actually gonna invert this bottom knee, okay? Think of preemptively setting this up as a hook. All right, so I'm setting this knee up, inverting this bottom knee. I'm gonna let this wrist slide by, and I'm looking for this far side underhook first. Now I can get the near side underhook, and then from here, we can start to set up our back position, okay? So we're here, inverted arm bar. For whatever reason, we just don't feel like we're able to get it. All right, so I'm gonna invert the bottom knee, slide this wrist by, and look for this far side underhook, okay? Also, whenever we're here, Joel has the option of rolling, okay? If he rolls, I'm gonna roll with him. Keep control of the arm just until I get to both knees. As soon as I'm here, I'm letting go of the arms and blocking the hips immediately, okay? Trust me, it's gonna be worth doing this, okay? And from here, we're starting to set up a top pin, top pin, top pin, okay? You can force that top chest positioning with the omoplata sweep, okay? Let's say the person's really starting to flatten me out. I can go heel on the near side of the neck and pass this wrist into my pocket, okay? From here, I need to look away the whole time and build up on an elbow. Slowly rotate everything down towards the mat because it's going to be a shoulder lock unless if he rolls. So I'm here, and do the same thing. Set on that top position. Last option is head and arm submissions, okay? So I'm here. This will happen a lot before you get up on the elbow. Joel is starting to flatten me out. He puts that hand on the mat. I can do foot on the bicep and immediately attack it here. If Joel's pretty quick, starting to flatten me out, I can just immediately catch it with my legs. Now we're in good positioning to just squeeze and work on it. You can attack the arm still in those head and arm positions. That's why I call it head and arm, because we're either attacking strangle or arm there. So let's review those one more time. Here, inverted arm bar. Chest to back positioning. Forcing chest to chest positioning if they roll, okay? If Joel's starting to flatten me out, I can get head and arm submissions of any sort, okay? You can still attack the arm from these positions, okay? So, we're trying to either get inverted arm bar, chest to back, top chest to chest, or get a head and arm setup of some sort. Sound good? Person on top, you're just trying to disengage. Good? 1, 2, 3. Of wonders, Joel steps up a leg, I'm immediately underneath, immediately distributing his weight here. Getting them off of you. So I'm able to shelf the leg, and now we're here. Okay? Legs across, I'm able to split his legs. What I want you to do is I want you to forward shift until you're able to come up on this elbow from here. And this is where we're going to start resistance. Okay? My job is to keep his hands to the mat at all times. Okay? There's a lot of things that can happen from here. We'll get into leg locks eventually after wrestling, which is what we're going over next. Okay? But for now, what I want you to focus on is getting to that back or getting to that chest. Okay? What What I mean by that is I start to split here until I'm able to invert this bottom knee. Okay? Now as you see, we're in a standing single leg position. Okay? You can go in front of the leg or behind the leg. It's completely up to you. He can stay with his knees down or he can lift his hips up. That's completely up to him. All right? So what we're going to do here is stand with this leg completely. All right? I recommend going towards the back, sliding that leg just like you sled the arm to get chest to back, and we're looking for his hips immediately. Letting go, hips and weight forward. Same concept, hands to the mat at all times. Once I see that his hands are still on the mat, I can go chest to back, okay? So I'm wanting to get a body lock around the hips or around the upper core, okay? Because there's a lot of factors you're not going to be in control of here. Let's say I stand and he goes to turn towards me, and that makes him fall to his hip here. From here, I want to get a body lock around his hips. I can go in front of the leg or around the leg, okay? If during that I was able to just bypass everything and go directly to the chest, that's always better, okay? What I want you to focus on, keeping the hands to the mat at all times, getting a body lock around the hips, or getting around the upper body in any way, okay? That sound good? Once you get one of those locked grips, you're able to hold it for a couple seconds, that counts as a win. Just kind of show you an example. Go ahead. You even kick out this leg here and force them to the mat, okay? Let's do it one more time.
I think they got it.
I just want to show a standing example. Go ahead. All right. So as you saw, I upgraded towards the upper core because that's going to put even more weight into the hands. Keep the hands on the mat at all times. Okay? 1, 2, 3.